Welcome to episode 45. I can't believe...
Wait a minute.
What?
This is only episode 10.
Oh, really? Is it actually 10?
Yep.
Are you sure it's not 11?
Congratulations. It's the 10th one.
Wow.
This is amazing, guys.
Wait, it's the 10th one and today is the 10th.
That's
well,
crazy.
When you're listening to it, it'll be the 11th because I know you all listen to it the moment it's...
It's true. A lot of people listen to it on a Friday. So we have a pretty... Actually, this is a pretty good one. We have some original content in
We
here.
usually don't talk about how we usually don't like these episodes that we do. But we like this one. This one's good.
This one's pretty good. We talk about...
Oh, no. We talk about... What do we talk about? Okay, we talk about cereal. We definitely talk about a cereal. We talk about awkward interactions with
Much like this
girls.
one.
Yeah. We talk about
just pros tips.
IndieCade.
We went to an independent video game festival last weekend, and we interviewed a lot of pasties, which you guys might know as nerds, but we call them pasties. And it's pretty hilarious. We played some clips from it. This is the first time we were hearing some clips. You got to hear that. This is like a real radio show now.
We've got wires that go to places that you can't like see. It's not like one wire going to one place. It's like 4 or 5 getting bundled up, going out to other things.
This is like turning legit.
Yeah.
So you guys, please subscribe to us and especially hit that like button. Do they have like buttons on podcasts yet?
Of course they do.
Yeah, they do. So hit the like button, guys. And please,
you want to be on the ground floor of this. You want to.
You want to know that you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
by the way, everything coming up, you heard here first.
You heard it here first. Please enjoy, you guys.
Here's something I was thinking about the other day, and I don't remember the last time I had cereal. That's not what I was. No, that's not what I was thinking of. So I don't know what made me think of this, but I was thinking of Frosted Flakes. Maybe it's because we're in advertising, and now I look at products and I think of how they're publicized or whatever. And Frosted Flakes' slogan is. Can you say what it is?
They're great.
Yeah, their slogan for their product is they're great. Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
They're great. It's the laziest. I'm trying to, if you reverse engineer it, I imagine guys in a room, Frosted Flakes. First of all, that alone is the laziest name. They are flakes and they are frosted.
Yeah.
That's it. That is all that product is. And now this level of thinking continues all the way through to the end. So, Frosted Flakes. How should we sell these to people? What could someone say about these?
Hey, I was thinking these are, they're okay.
Okay, well,
they're pretty good.
Let's not say that. That makes it sound like people, like that's not exciting. That's not.
Hey,
we want to sound like we're better than.
Okay, these are good.
Okay, yes, but I think anybody will at least say that their product is good. I want us to think outside the box. Outside the box.
You know what, Danny? You're always pushing us. And you're pushing some people a little far. It's just, when you say stuff like this, it just makes me feel like, I just want to.
I wish that
it's great.
I wish it was that clever. I wish that's. But I think what they probably did is someone said, "Well, they're great." It's like, okay, well, the slogan cannot just be that they're great. It's like, oh, well, they could just say like that. They're great, and it's like, well, why would anybody talk like that ever?
I like to think that in the meeting that guy got really mad, or he's like,
they're just great.
They're great, Tony. Okay, everything's just great. And he goes, wait a minute. What did you just say? Just forget about it. I was upset.
Saying they're great. That's all.
No. The part before that. Great. That's it. And we'll make
they're great.
That's what a tiger would say.
No, it'd be like, is anyone going to wonder why they're growling at him? The spokesman's a tiger.
He's a tiger. He's
What's
a cartoon
his name?
tiger.
Tony.
Tony the Tiger.
Every level. Frosted Flakes. They're great. Said so by Tony the Tiger.
Actually, now that we just say it out loud, it just sounds like a bunch of guys who are high sitting around trying to make something up.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, it's flakes, man, and you want them to taste good, so they're frosted. And
Right.
and you gotta get people to know that they can eat it. You just gotta tell them that it's great.
It all sounds like it was like the first pass. Like some guy went in to pitch the cereal to Kellogg's or whatever, because I know that's how it goes. Like you go into big meeting rooms and like you pitch. So I got this idea for a cereal, and I'm gonna pitch it to you. Ready? Okay. And then they just said, okay, so there's these flakes, right? Like little flakes, corn flakes, and they're frosted. We'll just call them, for now, frosted flakes. And they're, we got a tiger. His name's Tony. We'll give him a better name, but just for now, it's Tony the Tiger. And he says they're, I don't know, great. And then wrap all that up. We'll change all of this, but we'll take it as is.
They just... Yeah, they think that they're going to come up with a better idea because it's so basic, but then they don't.
Yeah. Lucky Charms is a step above, just in that the mascot and the product have something to do with each other. There are Lucky Charms and there's a leprechaun. Those things make sense. A tiger and sugary cornflakes does not make any sense.
I think it's because it came from a more innocent time when men would just beat their wives, and that was okay. And like kids would seem to go to school and
Not sure where you're going with this, but yeah.
But it was a more innocent time when butt sex was taboo.
Back then.
And now everybody's eating
still trying to follow you.
Frosted Flakes.
Still on board.
There's butt sex. The gay people are ruining everything.
They weren't eating it down back in the good old time or good old days, you're saying?
They're eating it. Oh, yeah. Nah, that fell apart.
Okay. Yeah, you lost.
I'm not sure where I was going with that.
You lost me immediately. I was trying to be sympathetic by constantly reassuring you that I'm with you.
Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, I was just thinking that, wow, they could have done better. Even Cheerios. Like, what's Cheerio? Like, they at least came up with a product name, like a brand, not just Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, that is really, really basic. And it's surprising that it's like, the top level type.
Yeah, you consider
it's not like the bags, the bags on the bottom?
Right.
Where it's just like the generic. So instead of Lucky Charms, it'd be like, like clever things. I don't know. I'm not good. Obviously, I'm not good at this. But, instead of Frosted Flakes, it would just be like, sugar thing.
Oh, right. No, I know what you're talking about. The big bags at the bottom.
Just the big bags.
Yeah, so it would be called like Krusty. That's probably not.
Crusty pieces.
Yeah. Paint flakes.
Paint flakes. Paint chips.
Because paint chips. Oh my God.
Frosted paint chips.
Frosted paint chips. What do you think came first? I think I know the answer.
Frosted.
I just think like, okay, we got
Frosted Flakes.
We got a bunch of these Frosted Flakes that didn't get frosted, and we can't just throw them away. What should we call them? It's like, well, they're not Frosted Flakes. We can't call them Frosted Flakes. What should we call these? We have to make a profit. Well, what are they made out of without the frosting? Corn flakes.
Corn flakes. Yeah.
What about a mascot? Don't need one.
Yeah, I think it's a rooster.
Sure it is the other way around.
I think
you're right. Yeah,
it's a cock.
And he says they're cockadoodle cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
He's a rooster, and he goes, they're cockadoodle crap. Don't worry, everyone's buying Frosted Flakes. That's okay.
Yeah. They put them right next to it because you're just like, I could get cornflakes, which sounds gross in the morning, or you could get this. They're only there to drive the sales of the Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, that's true. Just be like, oh, those look horrible. Toucan Sam and Fruit Loops, I don't see the correlation there. Except, what does he say? Like, better
follow your nose.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, get away, kids.
Get away, kids.
That's more like Lucky Charms.
That's that rabbit.
What?
The pedophilic rabbit. The
Nesquik?
No. What is the rabbit? It's the rabbit. You gotta have my pops or silly kids. Tricks are for kids.
Tricks.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
At least Tricks is a brand, though. the rabbit, the word tricks, and what comes in the box. I can't. None of that it has anything to do with each other.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to guess.
Yeah,
if you've never heard.
Do you want some tricks? It's like I would think it's that like tic tac game that you played where you like throw those things like
and even if somebody showed it to you without the box, you still wouldn't know you could eat it because it's like the yellow balls.
What about a Cookie Crisp? Was that like a
Cookie Crisp?
That's another perfect example. Okay, so they're cookies and they're crispy. So Cookie Crisp. And what's the slogan? We're not even going to say if they're good or bad. We're just going to say the words Cookie Crisp. It's like, what does that sound like? A dog howling, or I guess, and then that was.
It was a dog, wasn't that? I can't remember.
Or wolf. Willie the Wolf. I'm just guessing. I'm probably pretty close.
Probably right. Who's buying those? What parents are buying them? Oh my
God. I was never allowed to have them.
Me neither. And so kids can't buy it. Kids don't have money.
Considering eating that now sounds
they can't go to the store and buy shit.
Disgusting.
But what parent would buy it? Because parents are like the ones that are like, that's something that you can't have. Yeah. So having a parent actually buy that. Yeah, who would buy it?
Right.
Kids can't. Parents won't let the kids get it.
Yeah, it's the shitty parents that don't care.
I think it's just.
But then adults. Cookie Crisp is too expensive. The parents who don't care aren't going to buy premium cereal that's bad for you. They're going to get cornflakes.
yeah.
And that's what they're going to get because like they don't give a shit. So like, here, kid.
That's true. Yeah, because you have that. You have.
So I don't know who's buying it.
Well, you have the rich parent who will just to get the kid to shut up, get anything.
That's true.
They're a little fat shitheaded kid. And I think if you were to trace back all the shitheads and bullies and stupid people, probably they started pretty young eating like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Count Chocula.
What was there's Cookie Crisp, and then what's that? The shortbread, sugary. I can't remember what it's called. Whoever's listening to me can think of it. It's just like Cookie Crisp, but it's like French toast. It's the French toast.
Cinnamon Toast
Crunch. That stuff was nasty too.
I think the rule of thumb is if it changes the color of your milk substantially
and instantly,
like it's probably
Puffs
not good.
Cocoa Puffs, like you couldn't even see the puffs.
When you drink it at the end, it could be a standalone drink.
Don't drink it at the end. It's just like that's like I guess that's probably what you could typically buy at a Starbucks right now would be Cookie Crisp or Cocoa Puffs that has been dissolved into milk with some caffeine, like an espresso shot. We could sell that.
I think
UTG Venture,
because all that stuff was like it's like really big in the 90s to get like big bright boxes and mascots and cartoons and commercials and stuff, and now all those people need a hero in their adult life, and it just needs to be a grown-up version of all that stuff.
Right. I would get like Lucky Charms and eat it as like a dessert. Like that's how sugary that stuff is.
I'd eat it in like a little caviar thing.
I'd get it like order it in restaurants. Like after I'd eat at home, I would like have maybe a tiny bowl of that. That's how sugary. Like you should never eat that crap for breakfast. It's in your stomach.
And it's funny thinking about all the cereals because when you're a kid, you're designed, or you are designed. Everything's designed for it to catch your eye. When I was a kid, I would be able to pick that stuff out. And the same goes for toys. Because recently we went to a grocery store, which granted is not the best example of toys these days.
Right.
But there's like a little toy section by the candy. And I realized like when I was a kid, I would have like looked at that and seen like the cool stuff. Now it's just kind of background. Like it's just white noise to me. But it's just funny how at some point in your life you stop walking down the toy aisle to look for toys. I don't know if it's like a conscious decision.
We'll walk down it because it's adjacent to candy, but you blow right by. Like you don't even. I will walk by it as if like it's mop handles. Like I don't see that they're toys anymore.
Right, and it all looks the same. But before, if I would have gone through, I would have looked for like Ninja Turtles and the one that I didn't have.
Army Men. I liked Army Men.
Yeah, but you don't continually buy Army
I would lose them all. I would lose them all before the sun had set that day. They're all gone.
Where are they?
Like just
guess I'll go back to the store and get some more Army.
Yeah. Speaking of like things just catching your eye, our friends from Japan who were living here for a while, Mio and Shio, I think it was Mio. We were walking through like the pharmacy section of a grocery store, and she pointed out something I never noticed is that we seem to feel the need to make our medication very colorful.
Oh yeah.
Like most medication has a very colorful box, especially toothpaste. If you think of stuff like Dayquil or NyQuil or other sort of stomach things, like when you get down to like just generic ibuprofen, not so much, but even like brand name, painkiller or, whatever, anti-inflammatories, everything is, if you just look at that aisle, it's all a bunch of colors, like cereal boxes.
Yeah.
I think the point she was making, she just found it funny. The point she was making is in Japan, it's all just, you're just looking at labels. Like no one's trying to
medicine.
Yeah. No one's trying to catch your eye with flashy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this with, I was reading the back of, maybe it was ibuprofen or Advil or something, that it is got a little bit of sugar on it.
Yeah, to make it taste good.
That really disturbed me. This idea of like flashing colors and then it tastes good. It's like you're just going to down a bunch of medication just because like you should want it because you're trying to fix something, not because it's colorful and tastes good. Because if you want it for that reason, really bad.
I guess in Denmark that's illegal.
To make it colorful?
To make it taste like anything but awful.
It shouldn't.
Yeah. It's weird. And
unless it's like putrid nasty and you just need to get it down your throat. But it should not be like a delight.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. But people like eat medicine. Like even at work today, people were talking about, I needed to go to sleep last night. I took some Tylenol PM. It's like, that's weird. Like that's not even really for just going to sleep.
Yeah, that's like more. Isn't that more like I have a head cold and I need to?
I'm sick. I need to get some sleep, and because you get sleep, you actually start to heal. But just to go to sleep is like that seems very inappropriate.
Cart before the horse. I think I used that correctly. But they're sleeping pills.
They're sleeping pills, but you're taking Tylenol. It's like that's medication that's gonna thin your blood and fuck up your liver and shit.
Oh, speaking of fucked up body parts, Austin feels better.
I do. I feel much better. Yeah.
He claimed to me the other day that pickles cured him.
Yep,
so
it did. It honestly did.
Either he's about to die or has found some sort of marvel in modern nutrition.
It really helped, and I was super timid about eating anything, and I was like, I was dehydrated, and when I get dehydrated, I kind of want pickles more.
Which makes no sense. It's just some background in case, I don't know why someone listening to this wouldn't know. Austin will eat a whole jar of pickles and drink the juice.
Yeah, it's bad. It's. I would say it's a problem if anything bad came out of it, but nothing ever has. Nothing ever has. In fact,
definitely not the putrid farts that would hang in the air back in high school.
That's good. That's my body telling me A-okay.
You have wiped out a basement, like all the friends together having a good time, and you'll let one loose. And it's like if you got a running start, the fart would clothesline you. Like the air's heavier in that area. And we would have to leave. It's like we have to go somewhere else.
Or you sit there and breathe it and you just get used to it.
Not for long. We'd go to like Hastings, which was our local video store, and just browse for hours while Austin farted up aisle ice. Anyways, you were saying about how pickles do no harm.
They do no harm. They fixed my stomach. I felt right as rain the next day. It was great, and I had just like a big old cleansing. That's the other thing the pickles do. Will just clean you out.
Well, it's because you start sweating because of like blood pressure or something.
Yeah,
creepy.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, you're just ingesting an insane amount of sodium, aren't you?
Yeah. Yep. And and then I just got to continue drinking water. It's I don't know. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for me.
I think it was the same day, but it's a good thing you're not dead or it hasn't killed you yet because you got to see Point Break.
I did.
The first time.
Yeah, we watched Point Break. Yeah.
I've seen it. You had never seen it somehow.
It's just as ridiculous as a lot of people say.
Despite it being on every channel throughout the 90s, just playing, you never had seen it.
I hadn't even seen anything from it except the clips.
What was your take on it just as somebody who is not nostalgic or...
Yeah. So here's my review of Point Break. Just a little synopsis is Keanu Reeves is a boy who is going into the FBI.
Default is explaining people as boys.
It looks exactly like a police station, and you're continually forgetting and reminded of that fact.
Yep.
That it looks just like the FBI just looks like fancy cops.
Right. Yeah. Looks like beige walls, and no one's smoking.
Gary Busey is.
Oh yeah, he's always smoking a cigar at like 8 a.m. But the air in that place is so that they can get the cool rays of light coming through the window. You couldn't see one side of the building to the other, like it would just fog out. Like it's smoky in there.
Yeah. So it's Keanu Reeves is a boy starts his first day on the FBI. They put him on a job finding bank robbers. There's 3 or 4 bank robbers that come in at the beginning of the movie with presidents' masks on, and they don't know who it is because they had masks on. It's an unsolvable crime.
That's right.
Gary Busey, who's the crazy guy who wears Hawaiian shirts throughout the movie, is like, it's surfers. Duh. And they have the only thing they have to go off of is a surfer's butthole.
That's true.
And at one point, Gary Busey zooms in on the camera footage, and one of the bank robbers has written "thank you" on his butt cheeks, and he pulls down his pants, and it zooms in, and you can see his butthole. You can see his butthole.
Check out that tan line. It's like he zooms in on the butthole.
It's definitely the butthole, and so Keanu Reeves befriends these surfers.
The guys who robbed the bank, on the way out, a guy moons the camera. That's why we have a clear shot of the butthole.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm explaining Point Break to people. I mean, I know why you're doing it because it's fresh. I don't know why I need to read it.
This is the review. So he befriends these surfers, and then he's having a good time, and he meets this guy that looks like a girl, and he falls in love with it. And then at one point a guy pulls down his pants, and Keanu, and I kid you not, he sees his butthole and he puts 2 and 2 together, and he realizes that butthole is the same one that he saw before, and that these surfers that he happened to befriend on the entire beaches of the world, or I guess in LA,
all brought down by that one guy's inability to keep his pants up.
You just keep it in your pants. They would have been foolproof, but Gary Busey's going over that butthole with a fine-tooth comb.
That's during a scene, like mini scenes in the movie, that's in constant slow motion. Like the entire scene will play out.
So the movie's like 4 hours long, and it's because all of it is in slow motion, but that doesn't stop them from adding in sound effects like they did in the 90s.
That are in real motion.
That are in real time.
Someone whose mouth is going, but then they put over that, this is what you hear.
It's hilarious. So it's a lot of the slow-mo shots of people surfing and buttholes and stuff. And then once they find out who it is, they go and they kill the lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then
for other reasons,
because he has a bad haircut. And then Gary Busey is kind of driving them around and being the whole dad thing. Is weird. And I guess cutting to the chase, Gary Busey gets shot. It's pretty funny. And then other people get shot.
Really cutting to the chase.
And they jump out of an airplane at the end. And the guy from Flashdance, whose name is
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Dirty Dancing.
He jumps out of an airplane, doesn't give Keanu Reeves a parachute. Keanu Reeves gets upset at that fact, so he jumps out of the plane after him, grabs
It's a great moment because I think they've known each other for all of 3 weeks, yet Keanu Reeves has such an intense passion for his new job that he's willing to pursue a man by following him out of a plane without
trying to arrest him in the air. It's the first like mid-flight arrest.
Yeah, which fails.
Which he fails, and then Patrick Stewart gets away.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Captain Picard gets away, and he finds him later surfing. Patrick Stewart with a large head of hair, large mane.
It was a really great movie to just kind of sit back and make fun of. I definitely hadn't seen it before. I hadn't seen that many buttholes in that many movies. But it was there, so
I guarantee that everyone who hasn't seen this movie in a while and is like, let's hear a brand new take on it, does not remember the buttholes.
But that's the entire purpose of the movie. If there was no butthole, there wouldn't be any of the other plot points.
It's true.
I guarantee it.
It's true. Wow. Yeah, there's lots of slow motion. There's lots of slow motion stuff, and then there's there's a big chase right in the middle of the movie where Keanu Reeves and Busey are sitting outside the bank. Mm-hmm. The guys rob the bank, and a chase pursues where Keanu Reeves is chasing down his surfer buddies. He knows that the surfer buddies are the guys in the president mask. Keanu Reeves is chasing him. They do not know that Keanu Reeves is an undercover cop until he gets in a fist fight with Patrick Swayze face to face. So now clearly they know that Keanu Reeves is an undercover cop. Yet that night, he still goes back home to his girlfriend, who is like living among all of these criminals, all of the surfer bank robbers. And then that night, they show up at his door, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" You know that they know. Yeah. And they show a scene where the surfers are like, "So Keanu Reeves is an undercover cop and tried to kill us." And it's like, "Okay, well, I got a plan. Let's go get him." And he's like, "What's up, guys?" Like, "Oh, we're gonna go skydiving." What? Why are you playing along? Why are you even there so that they can find you? Which they should have just killed you or what? Whatever. Yeah. That was the biggest part where I was trying to remember how the movie played out, and I was like, okay, so he went back to he must have a plan though, right? Okay, they're on the way to get him, but he's going to jump out the back. No, he walks in and answers the door. He's like, "What's up? What's up, guys?" And thinks they don't know anything. He was like punching Patrick Swayze in the face 2 scenes earlier.
It makes no sense. The entire movie, it moves at just the stop-start pace.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's also ridiculous that we're reviewing this movie.
Next time, we'll be reviewing Aliens 3.
Oh, yes. Yeah. One of the best. So, recently, I guess it wasn't too recently, but at work, there was, I want to tell a story, unless you have something.
No.
So, there was this girl, and I don't know her name. So, I work at a place, and then right next door.
It'll be Bertrand. We'll call her Bertrand.
Bertrand. She's younger, but Bertrand, sure. So I used to work in a vault, which is essentially a mailroom. Like that's the level that I was kind of at. Mm-hmm. And so I would deal with like shipping in and out. And next door, these people had like a permanent FedEx pickup. So every day FedEx would go there. So if we actually had any FedEx packages, we would just bring them next door. And you just give them to the front desk chick and just be like, "Oh, hey, can you put this in there?" And then after like the 3rd or 4th time, they just kind of recognize you and just be like, "Hey, you got any packages?" And that's about as far as like your banter goes. It's like, "Package man." And it's like, "Hey, package receiving girl." So
that sounds like an innuendo.
It's a great relationship. But
package man. Package receiving girl. Sorry.
And you do like the weird thing where, you got something. That's stupid. Anyway.
I'm going to lick my envelope.
Like sometimes.
You guys just get like raunchy with each other. It's normal.
I don't even know her name. So it's always awkward because you're like, "Hey, I have a package." And then you're like, "Oh, how's it going over here?" "Oh, it's slow. That's cool."
Yeah.
Well, bye. Like it's just
like my interaction with the coffee people every morning.
It's so awkward, right? Yeah. Like, what do you?
Where it's sort of like I don't dislike them, and I guess the exchange isn't awkward. It's just after a while you notice that it's the same every single time. So it's like, "Hi, how are you? Medium coffee? Yes. Okay. See you later. Thanks. Bye." Every single day.
Yep.
It's like I would like to add to this, but I kind of need to get inside.
You don't want it to become a thing where
we got to chat about something.
You got to start chatting, and then because then you start chatting, and then what's going to eventually happen is you're going to not to want to go there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a new coffee place.
I gotta find it. This sucks. This guy's gonna just like talk my.
It's why we moved apartments.
Yeah. So, my Bertrand, interaction with Bertrand was pretty brief, but it's because she was behind a desk and I had to go. I was never in this situation where I had to talk to her. Until one day I was coming in and she was out front smoking a cigarette, and I was there kind of early, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Smoking a cigarette, and I was like,
Cool. It's like the natural cigarettes, the natural icebreaker that I'll never experience, where these people are just forced outside into groups to just stand there with nothing left to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
Like. I've never had that excuse in my life to just be standing among people. It's like, we have to go and do this for 10 minutes because we're addicted.
Yeah.
And then you're out there now, you get to talk to, or you just walking by her, it would never happen if she wasn't.
Yeah.
If she didn't like cigarettes.
So that's why it was a different situation. So I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, nothing. Just kind of smoking." Obviously she's not going anywhere. I don't have a good out. Like, well, right. But I wanted to give that to myself. So I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Nothing. Just taking puffs of her cigarette."
Well, I don't want to die of cancer. Bye.
And I go, That's cool. Yeah. Wow. It's good energy today. I don't. And it coming out of my mouth. It coming out of my mouth was like I knew it was dumb, but I was already in. So I was like, yeah, it's good energy today. And she's like, yeah. And I go,
I've just been hanging around too many people who say shit.
I go,
like that.
yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna go to the club today.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I said that.
Did you have a club in mind?
No, I don't go to a club, let alone the club. And she was just like, that's
wow, you were
cool.
really reaching.
So she was like, she's kind of like this kind of like surfer type chick, sort of working in advertising ish type thing. And she's kind of half lit, like that's cool, but
So
she's still got a little bit going on. So it's not like she's like that's cool. She's just
Right,
like
right.
okay.
But I could see like surfer chick with the cigarette sort of being cool. I could see the good energy maybe flying with her. The club, I
Nope.
feel like wouldn't.
No, none of it flew. Not even the energy. So I was like, okay, bye. Like I was just, you fucked that up.
Yeah.
Just get out. And so
Ripcord.
I went inside and I had a huge shit-eating grin on my face because I can't imagine how awful that must have been to anybody else that might have listened or just to her. And then people were like, what are you smiling about? And I was like, nothing. And like they finally got it out of me. And now people are like, oh, real good energy. So it's like, oh, I'm just going to stay away from that girl. And after that, I didn't want to bring packages anymore. So, and we had an intern. I was like, hey, you got to bring these packages over there. Because it was so awkward. And I didn't want to get into another weird
It
situation.
was finally the inspiration you needed to get a raise, to get a promotion.
Yeah, right.
Get out of the position.
And so I'm avoiding her, and
Right.
she's not in my life anymore. And thank God, because that last encounter was awkward. Except she came over one day to talk to, and I don't know what she was doing. And I just came up and I was going to talk to the front desk people, and she was already there. And by the time I actually saw it was too late. She saw me, and me turning around to be too awkward. So I just came up and was like, hey.
But you would have been breaking even from your last encounter.
Yeah,
right on par.
Yeah, you would think so. So she's standing there and she has a pink laptop, and I could see this Hello Kitty on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I go, hey, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. I was like, Hello Kitty, huh? That's cool. And then she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, get out. And in my mind,
Wait, that's her fault for having a Hello Kitty lab.
Yeah, but
you don't get to act like it's not cool.
yeah, but I just awkward, just like,
Right,
hey, what's
yeah.
going on? Oh, Hello Kitty, that's cool. She's like, okay. And so I was like, just get out, escape. And I turn and I kind of like wide swing my hand, and it hits this table. And there's a glass, and it runs right into this glass, and it falls off the table. But me, being really quick and athletic, grab the glass and go to put it back on, but I slam it into the side of the table, and it shatters in my palm, and a piece of glass goes directly into my hand, and I just start bleeding. Like this is all within like 3 seconds. It was just like,
You knock a glass off a table and then frantically smash it into the counter.
So I walk up, say, Hello Kitty, hun. She goes, yeah. And I go, cool. And then turn around, smash a glass into my hand on the table. And I go, oh! And just scream, and blood's coming out of my hand. It's not a lot, but it's enough to be visible. And I was like, oh, God. And she's like, oh, my God, are you okay? And I like ran over, and I was like pulling glass out and stuff. And I cleaned up the glass off the ground. And by the time I came back with a dustpan, she is gone. And I was like, God,
Go to the
damn
club
it.
later.
It's like, goddamn, this wasn't the same day. This is sometime later, but still, like that was. And so I was like, oh my God, if I see her again, I am not going to even acknowledge her. Like she's bad news. Like I don't even know what's
Bad
going
energy.
on.
You know, it's like bad energy.
Bad
around there.
energy. And so, fast forward sometime later. And I'm at work, and it's my birthday, and I still had to work up until like I think it was still dark, so I think I got out at like 8 or something. We were gonna go to Hollywood. It was you, me, Lincoln. I can't remember who else.
Is it for a birthday?
It's for my birthday. That I just said. And we were gonna go to
Wasn't listening.
We were gonna go to Jumbo's Clown Room, and then we were gonna go just do the whole Sunset Strip
Yeah.
bar crawl or whatever. And I was like, yeah, feeling pretty good. And so I'm leaving work, and I walked by this Mustang, and kind of looking around. It's my birthday, and I look over and I see a girl in a car, and she's like, hey. I'm like, huh, hey. And I'm like all happy, it's my birthday. And I kind of like get close because it's a girl. I want to talk to a girl on my birthday. And it's her. And I was like, oh, fuck. And she goes, hey, what are you doing? I go, it's my birthday. Just kind of being like, well, I'm going to go. But I was so happy that I was like, you know what? I have a bad track record with this chick, but it's my birthday. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to like, invite her out or whatever. And maybe we could mend fences. And she goes, so you don't smell it? And I was like, smell what? And she goes, the weed? And I go, no. What? And she's like, do you want a hit? And I was like, of marijuana? You know what? It's my birthday. I will. And so I lean in without using my hands.
Wait, was that the first time that you mentioned it was your birthday or the second?
That was like the 50th time.
Oh, the 50th.
To her.
50th. Oh, no, yeah, to her.
To her a couple times.
Oh, okay. It would have been hilarious if she was like, do you want some weed? It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. So it's weird because I leaned in without using my hands. I don't know why I did that. And so she had a little pipe, and
I would like attack out of reflex. It's going to bite me.
So I was like, turtled my head into her window, and she gave me a euphemism. Hit. And I was like, oh, and like I don't really smoke that much, and so when it hit me, I was like, like immediately, I was like, and plus she did it, so there's no control, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I just take a big old dumb hit, and so I'm like. And then she's like, so anyway, what are you going to do on your birthday? And I was like, I couldn't respond. I was like, going up the Hollywood. And then she was like giving me a sideways look. And I was like, fuck. So my original plan is to invite her out. How do you do that? You give her your number. So
how do you do that? Be able to speak.
So I go, you should come out. And I pull out my phone. And I remember trying to say, so I'm going to be out around like midnight with my friends up in Hollywood. If you're there, give me a call. Or I could get your number. What's your number? But all I could muster was, give me your number. Like that. And she goes, and like I could see her face. She feels like a creep or something. Because I just demanded her number.
Your head with your arms by your side just stuck. Your head's like that. All the way, your head's shoved all the way through her window. Right.
I haven't retracted my head.
Hands by your side.
Give her a number. So I just kind of scream it at her because that's all I can manage to get out. And she goes, and she reluctantly gives me her number. And I know it's fake because, well, I texted her later and she didn't respond. But it's just the way she said it. It was like 5, 9. It's just like, whatever. But at that point, I was coughing so bad. And I was just, I got to get out of here. And so if you remember, I got in my car and I was like, it hasn't really hit me yet, so I'm just going to get home. So I rushed home, and it didn't really hit me at all, which was good. But it did when I got home, and I just kind of relaxed. And you were still at work. And then things got weird. Things got really weird.
I think you texted Lincoln. I remember that.
I called you, and I just remember like listening to music, like, oh, this is weird. I don't like this. It's my birthday, and all the lights were off for whatever reason. And I was like, oh, this is really sad. It's my birthday. What is going on? Where's Patrick? What the hell are we supposed to be doing? And I call on. All I could say was, Patrick, I really need a friend right now. I remember saying that, and I was just like sitting there, just being like, I can't do anything right now. I would like try to watch something on the computer to take my mind off of what was going on, and I would just be like, whoa, I'm watching something. Okay, you're watching something, and then holy shit, I'm watching something. Like it was just this
constant
like hell
monologue.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And then finally we went out, and it was only one hit, so it subsided pretty quick. But it was an intense moment of timelessness.
Yeah.
And waiting for my friends to show up on my birthday. But that was my last encounter with that chick. I think I might have saw her one other time when she drove by, and I go, hi, like that, and she waved, and I noticed that there's somebody next to me that she waved to instead of me, because I saw her head move over and look at me. Mm-hmm. So it was obvious I just waved to her and she had no idea like who I was or anything. Right. The last time I saw that, that's how I know we're not really friends anymore.
Anymore? You were before?
we were for a moment.
Good close friends.
We shared a moment.
Somewhere between when she started giving you a number, then finished giving you a fake number. It was when you were good friends.
Yeah, she never came out.
In your face.
But yeah, the birthday ended up being really fun though. We went out to Jumbo's Clown Room, which is like a really bizarre, small burlesque type stripper show that you would go to with friends.
It's super packed with like hipsters. Like it's not like
It's like couples.
Yeah, it's not like a strip club like you would think of a strip club. It is like
it's like a girl comes out, walks on her hands, and then folds herself into a pretzel.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, that's amazing.
Spinning like a top on the pole all the way at the very top. And it's a small kind of pretty simple space. And it's like the place to be. Like people will go there, get a few drinks and leave.
Yeah.
Like
it's on the bar crawl.
Every
It was
Joe
fun.
Blow.
And we ended up going all the way down the strip.
To that truck where we got hot dogs.
It's a caboose. Yeah,
caboose.
It's a train. Everybody would know if they went there that you get dogs there. So yeah, I'm not too good with the ladies.
Especially that lady.
Not that lady.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm not too good at the ladies. Of course.
So we speaking of not being good with the ladies, we run a small YouTube channel for the Urban Toledo Gang. Which you're actually listening to the podcast right now for the Urban Toledo Gang. And if you've ever gone there, which you should have, because we constantly tell you to do so, we have the main part of our videos are something called Pros Tips, and that's Patrick directs it. I act in it, and I'm a boy named SlyBoy. 87787.
Gamer tag SlyBoy 87787.
He reviews video games. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's enthusiastic about games, but he cannot express himself well at all.
And he also cannot express himself in the game. He can't play them very well, but that doesn't quench his enthusiasm at all, or doesn't quell his enthusiasm at all.
He rides entirely on assumptions and made up facts.
Yeah. This all like spawned years ago. I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say it's a couple years ago.
And we were just sitting around, and I think it was an idea that we've always had. It's definitely a character that we've always had in our heads. And I just said, play this game and act like you know what you're doing. And you actually had not played the game. We filmed that. Yeah. And then threw it together, and I made a stupid intro where I called it Pros Tips because it's like pro.
Yeah, it's like pros
tips for pros, but Z's are cool. So SlyBoy would want to do that. So Pros Tips.
Yep.
And then during filming it, you just announced that your name was SlyBoy 87787,
and that stuck.
We stuck to that number, and now years later
we have quite a few videos. We've done at least a dozen videos.
Yeah,
15 or 16
somewhere
videos
around
now.
there in that ballpark.
And we actually do have a small following. Like we do get fan mail, and people are generally pretty excited.
Like
about
outside of like our close friends who watch it, we even have people that we have just pulled interest from the internet. We're almost around 5 or 6 people who you and I have never met, who will send messages or comment regularly, who we are now friends with. They are friends with SlyBoy on Steam, which is a game client. They can play video games and stuff with SlyBoy and us. We've actually built.
And the Googler, who he's somebody from
UK.
Googler. I always said Googler, but you never know. Like people just make up words. But you'll actually hear some of the music on this podcast. And he contributes a lot, and we try to pay him in games and stuff, which we hope he appreciates because that's all we got.
Yeah.
But so this kind of has kept going, and it's something we like to do that's fun, much like this podcast. And so last year when we moved into this apartment, there was something going on within the first month of us moving in, and it was called IndieCade, and it was a block away. So when we were walking around discovering, we saw this thing, and it was just IndieCade essentially is they call it's a festival of the biggest independent games in the United States.
It's an primarily outdoor, like tents get set up in this sort of public space in Culver City, and people have booths, and they have their games, and they have television. People can play it, and press is invited to come and review things and review the event. There's awards.
It's pretty big now.
Yeah.
And we're thinking at the time, SlyBoy was in full swing, and we just applied to be to get into this. And it's $20 to get in, just to get in and play games. And then there's like all access passes, which gets you in to talk to the developers and go to like the awards show and stuff. And we just applied for media pass, and we just said, oh, we do a game channel called Pros Tips.
It was what they were asking was very simple. It's like, what's your name? Who are you with? And that was about, and then I bring a business card. That was all they required from us. And this was us. You signed up almost a year ago. Like right after you saw that, you went and signed up for the next year.
Yeah. And we got a letter like a month before that was like, hey, you got in. I was like, holy shit. We got into this thing. And so now that we're comfortable with the character SlyBoy, it was like, let's just go and use these passes, all access passes. For some reason, somebody thought we were press worthy, and
we didn't deceive anyone. We said like Pros Tips, Urban Tito Gang, YouTube channel, Urban Tito Gang. Like there was no like, oh, we run a reputable journalistic, whatever. You can see us in anything. We just said,
it just says SlyBoy 87787 Pros Tips on YouTube in association with the Urban Toledo Gang.
That's the most official, unofficial one because
and they're lanyards, and they came on like.
It looks like the real
laminated.
Deal.
It's crazy, and it says press on the bottom.
It is the real deal. On the website, it was toting that an all access pass, which is what these qualified as, cost $450.
Yeah, so that's $900 total.
Yeah,
for some.
But we both just got them because we're reputable journalists, of course.
Of course we are. So we did what we do best, which is make complete asses of ourselves and others. And
first thing we did, was go get our passes.
And I say my name. I say, hey, I'm Austin, and she can't find it. She says, what outlet are you with? I said, Pros Tips, which is weird hearing me say it to a person who doesn't know that it's a joke.
It makes it even better that she was an attractive female.
Yeah,
makes us all better.
It's really awkward. And she goes, do you have it under a different name? And I go, not thinking I actually did sign up as SlyBoy, which I actually told to Patrick. I go, there's no way I did something dumb.
like not use my real name is what you said. There's no way I did something dumb like not use my real name. And as soon as you said, I was like, that's exactly what he did.
So it was.
SlyBoy.
I go, down. SlyBoy. And she goes, you should really use your real name. I was trying to figure out who the hell SlyBoy was. Yeah,
she's got like 100 passes, all like Mike Jones and Sarah and Burgundy. And what was it?
Burgundy.
What was her name? It was Bertrud.
Yeah, I didn't use that
all
name.
Those guys were there. Like Patrick O'Leary, all these names. And then SlyBoy with a bunch of digits after it. She even said like, I was trying to figure out who this SlyBoy 666 person was or whatever. She couldn't remember the numbers. And she said it was like a running joke among the staff before you got there. The SlyBoy character.
Really embarrassing. But like once we got it in, it was nothing but disbelief that we actually were able to get in.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So we borrowed a camera from a friend, and Patrick had it on. It was a shoulder mount.
Yeah.
And we just we had a vague idea what we were going to do, like interview people.
And we have weird sort of conversations about the character SlyBoy, which we both understand through filming, and like, oh, he would react like this to this. He would react like this to this. So we understand, I think, the character so well that we could just walk up to somebody and what you would do would be appropriate. Like you wouldn't,
Right. Yeah. So
we've got that shoulder mount that I had and the camera, like it all looks really like legit. It's a lot of equipment, enough equipment so that if you run up on somebody and you had a microphone, they pay attention. They do what you say.
It doesn't look like a joke.
Yeah. They're like, this guy is interviewing me. I need to sit up straight and start talking. Like people gave us the time of day and then some.
Yeah, that part was amazing. And SlyBoy, as incompetent as he is, like we said, is very enthusiastic. So we would just run up on people, and they would generally have this look of just, what the hell is this guy talking about?
A number of them, you could see them starting to get really uncomfortable, thinking that you were blowing it, thinking that you were stumbling over their words, and they're like, and then they'll try to jump in and help you. That's the best part.
So we kind of were feeling it out, and at one point we go into the Nintendo booth, and I pick up a game, and the idea was we were gonna review it. I was gonna review it to the camera, and I was just gonna completely blow it, and hopefully like the developer was there, and you'd hear me just like completely saying the wrong things about the game. The game didn't actually work, or I couldn't figure it out. So I raised my hand, and as I raised my hand, I look over, and there's this Asian guy. It's a Nintendo booth. I think he's the developer. SlyBoy thinks he's the developer.
Right. It's for the Wii.
And it's for the Wii. And so we're actually going to play a clip here. This is the first encounter with the guy. I raise my hand, and he looks at me like, what are you doing?
He really just stares at you for a while.
Yeah. And I go, oh, are you? And so I go, oh, you're the developer. And this is the conversation that we had.
Oh, did I make this game? No, I didn't make this game. What do you mean?
Because when I held my hand. So this is right now. I'm explaining that
I don't even know.
I thought you're the developer.
So don't film it. Why are you filming?
And he's telling us not to film it.
interested
And he
in
just
games.
goes on to explain why he likes
If you
the
could
game.
just say happy fun gaming with us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy fun gaming! Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Cheers.
He was so confused. He was looking at you, and then you were like, "You're the developer," and then he's staring some more, and he's like, "No, I'm not the developer." And then you go in to explain why you thought that. He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, no, I was just looking at this game or whatever." That you're like, "Yeah, it doesn't work. You can't play it." And he was like, "Oh, you just have to like, you can't turn the pages or whatever." And you're like, "No, it's just you just look at it." And then he eventually just has to take everything from you and show you how to do it, which was funny.
So I essentially tell him that it's first I tell him he's the developer and that his game's not working. He's like, I'm not the developer, but SlyBoy's not listening. And eventually he kind of gives a little review of the game, and then he says happy fun gaming at the end. That's what he says. Happy fun gaming, I guess.
Came the exact same way that the name SlyBoy 87787. You just said it at the end of that first video.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said happy fun gaming.
Yeah, it's like a happy
That
accident.
stuck, yeah.
And then we actually have business cards. We printed out them for me and Patrick, and the first one it just says SlyBoy's name, video game expert, whatever that might mean, and then in quotes happy fun gaming, and then the YouTube link, and then Patrick's we're gonna introduce him as another character. He's my cousin, and it just says SlyBoy's cousin. His quote is, "Teach me how to play, SlyBoy."
Which would definitely be something that SlyBoy would concoct.
He made it for
yeah.
him. It's very obvious. So anyways, we say happy fun gaming, and then we go on our way, and we actually film most of the day.
Yeah, it was a pretty lengthy day.
And so throughout, we see this Korean guy again.
Same guy.
So we see him again. He's like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" And we run up on him and ask him more questions and stuff. He's in disbelief. He thinks we're like full of shit. He's the only guy that thought we were full of shit.
Most people were. I think everyone felt bad for us. By the time we would leave, they'd just be like, "Okay, good luck."
Yeah.
One guy, one of my favorites was, we encounter a guy twice. We walk up to him first. He explains like the Oculus Rift or whatever very eloquently, and then later on we run up to the same guy and you go, "Hey, nice to see you again." He goes, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Yep. So what's the favorite thing you've seen? And then he goes on and he completely amuses us. Like he does his best, gives a good interview again. But I just like he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because you blew it last time."
Well, this Korean guy is the only guy that was like, "Are you guys for real?"
Yeah.
And so the last time that we saw him, and I'll play that clip here.
Which is the third time.
This is the third time that we.
Ready? Happy fun gaming! Happy fun gaming! Thanks, man. Have a fun trip back. Bye-bye.
Oh, are you guys real? For real?
Too real.
So he left for Korea the next day, and in that interview he actually had said, I said, "What are you going to take away from this?" And he's just, "You guys."
Yeah, this is a staple of IndieCade.
Even at the end, we still didn't let on that he knew we were full of shit, but he never got a verifiable answer from us that yes, we're just full of shit.
Yeah.
That's the last thing he said is like, "Are you guys for real?" And then that was it.
We got awesome happy fun gaming, so like all different kinds, people who were like super enthusiastic, groups of people who would yell it, guys who didn't understand would say it like, well, you go happy fun gaming, they go happy fun gaming, and then people who were like really disappointed, they thought it was just stupid and would barely even speak.
People were just like felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
So another guy I met.
What?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
What?
So how you doing?
Yeah. What's going on?
Nothing much. So you enjoying yourself?
Yeah. Are you for the?
Actually, I'm just volunteering for. Yesterday I did security, And today, I just volunteered all over the place, helping
cool.
all the different game developers.
Any
and the
troubles?
sponsors.
Any troubles?
Oh no troubles at all.
Really quickly, go back to the beginning of that. Just this is how the interviews started and how many of them begin. Is it sort of like SlyBoy is sort of inviting people to talk, but through no help of questions or inquiries, or just hey, what?
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
How you doing?
what?
So how you doing?
Yeah. So he starts the interview.
Yeah, most people would, or most people who you started with what? You go to people and go hey, and they go hey, and you go what? And that would be your contribution to the interview until they would feel uncomfortable that there's a camera in their face and a microphone and nothing's being said.
Which was it illustrated the best, like that. How bad SlyBoy is at interviewing was illustrated the best when we found this guy who would enunciate all of his words and claimed that he was a good speaker or whatever. And this is the encounter that SlyBoy had with this guy.
Right.
Super Secret Spy is a game that's played by 2 teams. Today I played on a team of 5. In an earlier incarnation played on Governor's Island at the Come Out and Play Festival, it was played with teams of 12. Wow. The object of the game is to spy on members of the other team. You're either the red team or the black team. Everybody gets to wear a fedora, an actual physical hat.
He's gesturing.
They're going to sort the pile. They're going to sort the red hats and the black hats into those who got spotted by other spies and those who didn't.
Wow. You're good at speaking too.
I beg your pardon?
You're good at speaking.
Yes, everybody has different skills. That's one of mine.
Yeah.
The other thing about my experience playing Super Secret Spies, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. I'll get better at speaking like for you.
Doing great.
That you did. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, so left him, and he was trying to reassure you that you're doing a great job interviewing.
So I will do better in speaking in the future for
And also
you.
at first he was like they split up the hats into red stacks and black stacks, and you said they're good at speaking too. And he said, what? You're good at speaking? So confusing.
It's just that guy was he would enunciate so well, and when I complimented him, he's like, thank you for the compliment. He like touched my shoulder.
Yeah, he was being very gracious. Like it wasn't even just enunciating. He'd be like, explain this, and he was like, bam, description, like Wikipedia style description.
That was
which is the absolute polar opposite to SlyBoy. Like calculated and prepared. We should also thank Jacqueline Andrade. When we were there during night, she was wheeling and dealing. She had like a stack of our business cards.
Yeah.
And whenever we would be interviewing people, and I could hear her behind me going, check them out on YouTube, check them out on YouTube, check them out on YouTube, and running around, and she would hand them to people after we're done interviewing. And
awesome.
it's just getting people for us to interview. She'd be like, this guy just did this. Talk to him about that.
She did was great about grabbing people for interviews. We also actually got pretty good at grabbing people for interviews.
Yeah, or just assaulting.
Probably the best example of that was when we actually talked to CNN. And this is the best example of how to get somebody.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. How do you? Hey.
No, I'm with the media already.
Oh,
yeah. I'm with CNN.
But,
No.
So you know about. I guess real quick.
And
do
he's
your
trapped.
service. What do you think?
Do your service.
What's the best part of this? But if it's CNN, it's kind of top for old guys, kind of news. So how are you gonna bring that to them? That to them. So I guess we always do at the end. Just say happy fun gaming. You could say happy fun gaming from CNN if you want to say that. Okay, say happy fun gaming on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy fun gaming.
Happy fun gaming.
Thank you. Thank you.
That poor guy, like, hey, he's like, no.
Wow. That's like CNN. That's kind of not really that's not my dream. That's not that impressive.
That guy, when you run up on him, is like, oh no, guys, I'm in the media. He thought he was clear then, but then you just bulldozed that.
No.
You just kept going, and he was like, and now he knew he was stuck, and he had like answer bogus questions. Poor guy. He's probably like worried about losing his job.
I know. Yeah. Because that guy really was from CNN, and when we asked him if he was what he's gonna write about, he's like, I probably won't write anything.
Right.
Like, he was just some guy who happened to be I don't doubt he was from CNN.
No, neither do I.
Somehow,
Yeah.
like he just seemed like, but his
And the way
face
he
was so
spoke about the games, he was sort of like he was like, oh, well, in the way that they connect with audiences, it was very much like a reporter.
And then the whole joke at the end is just, that's not that impressive. Obviously. Yeah, so there were a few awkward interviews like this one. Was the last
So it looks like you're wrapping up. What are you gonna? What was the best part?
We
Laughs right in
park
your face.
all the weekend. That was awesome.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's cool. Yeah. There's Zach.
So he just says later, Zach, to
The
somebody else,
interview
and that's
sort
the
of ends.
interview's over. So I just got laughed at immediately, and
He
then
probably reacted as someone should.
most appropriately.
Yeah.
So, and when we ended it, this should give you an idea of how SlyBoy kind of covers things. He gets very distracted when he's
Trails off.
trying to give the final
Right.
kind of like wrapping up the day.
Excuse me. So with all the new games that just came out.
Just a passerby.
Oh, so what? Maybe what was? Okay.
I'm not even part of it. What was that? I'm not even part of it.
Just a random guy walking
So
by.
that wraps it up for day one at IndieCade. We had a lot of great people coming on through and a lot of looky-loos and rubberneckers. But come back for maybe another day and we'll...
Maybe.
So somebody jumped off the curb.
Did you get that guy doing a wheelie?
You just get distracted by somebody doing a wheelie, and
Yep.
then it's over.
Yep.
You just
Typically how things. But if you watch any of the SlyBoy videos, they will typically end with him sort of reaching a pinnacle of frustration, or just sort of has lost interest in the game. Is typically what happens. Wanders off, or is too excited to continue. That happens sometimes.
generally just has no idea what he's going to say when he starts a sentence.
Doesn't put a button on.
But there was, that wrapped up the whole thing. And I think in retrospect, probably it was all very awkward, but the most awkward one was there was this lady who was in front of kind of an area where people are coming and going, and she was like talking to the camera, and she had like a camera crew with her, and she was wearing like this kind of like flowy, unusual white dress, and she had like colorful dreads in. And it's obvious she held herself well in front of the camera when she was like talking with people and stuff. So me and Patrick walk up to her, and I ask her, "Can we get a picture?" And she in the video, she kind of grabs at her hair and just kind of flutters her eyes, and you can tell she's flattered. She's flattered that we were to ask. So I pull out my phone, and I just say, "So you could just take the picture here." And me and Patrick stand in front of the building with our equipment and have this girl who obviously thinks that we want to take a picture
and
with
who
her.
who is the talent in whatever media she's creating here. She's got a camera person, and I saw her earlier microphone talking to the camera. Yeah, she is the talent, and we're having
She's
her take
the celebrity on site, and we just asked her to take a picture of us. And the most heartbreaking part was when I walked up to grab the camera. I could tell in her face she was totally expecting me to be like, "Oh, can I get a picture with you?" But I just look at the picture and go, "Thank you," and walk away. It was so...
You go, "Thank you," and walk away, and then she was like, being polite, she was smiling. He's like, "Oh, you're welcome." And then she like turned and looked at you. Had started to walk off. She turned and looked at me like, "That's it." She was stunned.
It was pretty great.
And she had like stuff in her hands. Like we asked the person, she was not even at convenience to do so. It's not like a whole bunch of people were bustling around and she was standing still with her hands free. It's like she had a microphone. She had something else. She had to like juggle it, hand it off to somebody. Oh, it was.
It sounds mean now that we say it, but
it was mean.
No, it was more just it's a funny shtick. She got it. Oh, yeah.
I'm just a big fan now. She'll be calling in next week.
So Patrick's editing that now. You guys should expect to see that in the near future on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Urban Toledo Gang.
You go there and you love it.
You go there. Just watch all those other videos and you'll kind of see what we're talking about. And then you can get excited for the fact that it's all happening live with real people. Like that does get people excited.
SlyBoy is outside.
Yeah, for once. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. We got a lot of stuff coming up on the next one. You definitely should be subscribed already.
Lincoln
to this.
promised to be present for every minute. So we'll see.
I can't wait.
We'll
He's
see.
back from New York, and I bet you he has some of the juiciest stories that you'll ever hear. Well, this is Austin,
This is Patrick.
and this is the.
This is
Urban-
our super awkward sign off. Okay, yeah, you say this with me. Ready?
Yep.
This is us, and we just want to say thanks so much, and we're gonna hear what you guys say about us later. Later. Go to our YouTube channel. It's the Urban Soda Gang podcast. Thanks.
And subscribe, and please start telling people, like, it's, you guys have invested enough time to actually, come on, guys.
Yeah, we've done enough.
We've done enough. You
We've
guys
done enough.
Pick up some slack.
We will not make another episode until there's 18 more subscribers.
Ooh, it's
15?
It's a steep number, 5.
Okay, it's fine. We'll start recording around 3, and then there'll be another one next week.